welcome to another episode of Stuck in My Mind podcast. I am your host, WIZE, and today's guest has an amazing story to share. At the age of 54, she found herself in debt, a single parent. I'm excited to have her come and share her story. Welcome to the show, Jeanne Omlor.
Hello, Wise. Nice to be here.
Oh, the pleasure's all mine. The pleasure's all mine. Let's get this started. I'm excited. You have an amazing story. Like I said, at the age of 54, you find yourself in massive debt, single parent. What can you share the turning point that led you to wanting to get out of debt, and what drove you to start your own business?
Well, you don't hear this all the time, but it wasn't really the debt that bothered me because there's debt and there's debt. And getting into debt, I had to go into debt because I went through something and it wasn't irresponsible debt. So I actually I hate being in debt. I've never been in debt in my life. But the way I saw it was, thank goodness I can have debt so that I can support my children through this time. I know you don't hear that often, but that's the reality that we have credit cards. And thank God I had credit cards, right? Because the alternative wouldn't have been pretty. So, of course, I wanted to get out of debt. But what really motivated me to do whatever it took that led me to getting out of debt, let's say that, was not the debt itself. It was waking up one morning and saying, what am I doing? I'm meant to be more successful and reaching more of my potential. And I used to, be good, and here I am, 54. My kids are getting older and their daughters. What really motivated me was, I do not want to see my daughters fail, because they're going to know after a while that I'm failing. Because we had a nice place to live and food, and so they never knew that I was in deep debt. I wasn't going to share that with them because I'd been through something. And I thought, what I said was, the voice came in my head, if not now, when? If not now, when? I thought, whoa, wait a minute. Because we all live in a dream. Okay. And the dreams we live in are either lucid dreaming or it's full on just like heads in the clouds, like people don't know really what's going on and what the reality is. And we could talk forever on like, what is reality, right? Perception is reality. But the fact was, I was lucid. I was like, this, if not now, when? And I thought, wait, I'm 54. So if I want to dig myself out or climb that next mountain to get out of where I am, when do I start it? In a year when I'm 55, or in 2 years, or then I'm going to be 60, and then I thought, then I'll be 70, and I thought, whoa, it's now, like right now. If not now, when? Well, why wait? So I woke up and I thought, and I'd been putting it off because I had been through something and I wasn't feeling great. I thought, I need to learn how to get online. I've been online like a website. I don't mean that. I mean online, social media. And I remember thinking, this is going to be the next big mountain to climb. You know that mountain, when you have a mountain? I thought, I just got to do it. So I manned up, I womaned up, and I hired, I went into a coaching program, and I plonked down 10K on 3 different credit cards and went into more debt. Yes. And fortunately, even though the program was not good, I always get what I need out of stuff. I don't sit around complaining. I just make sure it works. And on the 8th week after being online, I started getting high ticket clients with no ads. And I did it so simply because you see, the thing is, necessity is the mother of invention. So because I'm terrible at tech and I needed to make money, I thought, I just need to figure out how to get high ticket clients with the least fuss, no muss, no drama, and no tech. And I figured it out because I had to, because I wasn't willing to create a bunch of funnels and all that's tech. I thought, no, I don't want to do that. I want to do this simply by talking to people online. So I started getting high ticket clients on the 8th week. And then people were like, how did you do that? You just turned up. And I started coaching people on that. And then I scaled to 1 million in revenues within 16 or 17 months of that moment on my own. I had a VA here and there, but it was on my own. The profits were insane. Wise, they were insane. And because people are like, how did you do this? And do you have a big team? Nope. Nope. Then I started hiring, coaches. I have a really good coaching team. But so that's the story. And I'm at over 3 million at the moment, which is now almost, 4.5 years and a bit.
Wow, wow, that's amazing, and all this is by you wanting to learn and develop and grow. Like, but I want to try to make this not doing the sale funnels and not doing the ads and all this other stuff. There
No.
has to be, like, there has to be a simpler way where I don't have to really learn all those things to 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 build something online, and that's amazing. Um, so as a single parent, how did your personal journey influence your approach to business and leadership?
Well, actually, I was a coach already for 8 years offline. Okay,
Okay.
business coach, business strategist, and I'm a certified executive leadership coach. And I did some of that. It wasn't just, so I'd go into companies and I do coach the team on communication, productivity, et cetera, et cetera. And marketing. So, um, what was the question? How did being a single parent affect that?
Yeah.
Oh,
How did that excuse me. How did your personal journey influence your approach to
ah,
business
got
and
it.
leadership?
Well, the thing about being, because initially when I was first a solo parent, I was in New York City when I first became a solo parent. It was years earlier, and having a 1-year-old and a 4-year-old in New York City, and thinking, what am I going to do now? It's sobering, and you literally you don't have a moment to think about like there's no, oh gee, what am I going to do? It's like I just have to do stuff. There's not a moment. You don't have a moment. You're taking care of the kids, you're cooking, you're cleaning, you're taking them to the park, then you're trying to build a business, and so it's just this blur of survival, but beyond survival, and I have to do this. So you're not sitting around feeling sorry for yourself. You're not sitting around overthinking, that's for sure. You don't the good thing about situations where you just really need to like apply yourself because there's kids to support is you don't do the overthinking because you can't afford that. You don't have the time. I couldn't, every moment of my life was accounted for. Every minute was planned and accounted for. I didn't sit around relaxing. In fact, for the first 2 years, I worked from 7 till 7 taking care of my children. And then I would work from 7 till midnight to be able to work on the business because you can't work with, twos and threes and four. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you can't get work done. And I had to take them to the parks and play dates and, all that stuff. So I just realized, I thought, how it affects you is you become highly effective and highly productive because you have no choice. So you're forced into that because you realize, well, wait a minute, I got to make sure that 5 minutes works for me. And I got to make sure that I do that in 15 minutes. I got to make sure that that gets done by that time. We get all that done so that they're in bed. And at 7, I sit down and work for 5 hours and you just do it. So it does develop grit, resiliency, not overthinking. And you got to just process things really quickly and move on because your life depends on it. Your life depends on it. Your children's lives depend on it. Because if you don't feed them, what are you going to do? It's not like I don't want to be on Social Security, so that wasn't an option. So um, you just become more effective, and you're kind of like, they've said that single moms become more like men, and they've discovered the single moms develop more testosterone in their bodies because we have to have two roles. We have to do both. There's no, you're just both, you're mom and dad. So you got to be tough. I don't mean tough like person. You just got to be tough in your life in the sense of resilient, keep going, grit, not complain. You just got to do it. There's no choice. There's not like, gee, should I get up today and take care of my kids or not, or and try to earn some money, or should I just lie in bed? You can't do that. Okay, I mean you could. I mean if you had to
Oh no,
depression.
I
Yeah,
was raised by a single mom, and
right.
I know the work that
Yeah.
she put into being a provider as well as being a protector, and being like my mom just recently passed. She just recently passed away,
Oh,
and so um I know what it is for a single mom to struggle, and she raised six of us. She raised
oh
six of us.
wow. I only have two.
Yeah, she raised six. So I understand the work that she put into raising us, and making sure that we were provided for, and she worked hard. She worked hard,
Right.
make sure that we were good. So I understand the struggles of a single parent, and I commend you. It's not easy.
You know what? The funny thing is, nothing's easy.
No.
Nothing's easy, right? But it's true. There is not a moment. There's not a thinking about yourself. You also become way more selfless because there's no room to think about yourself. And it seems strange, but in some way, that's a good thing to go through if you become selfless. Because I never thought, I didn't spend a moment thinking about myself and my well-being. And of course, I tried to stay healthy. I'm not saying I let myself go, obviously, but what I mean was there was no, oh, what should I do with? No, you're just okay. And I did take them on vacation every year. Every year, my kids went on a pretty nice vacation, and I always found a cheap place. I always finagled it, that they did not want, from their point of view, they had a rich life. They didn't know that I was like doing deals and, and they didn't notice that, sometimes we only went on vacation for 2 days, but they had a wondrous life. And, one of my daughters, she said in French to me, she goes, oh, that's right. She said, Maman, on a une vie merveilleuse. That means, Mom, we have a marvelous life. When she said that to me, I thought, okay, I'm winning here. I'm winning here. Because her perception, because I'm not going to complain, had no money. Her perception was, we just have such a great life. Wow. We have a marvelous life. And I thought, oh, thank God that that's what she's experiencing. Because that's important. Because you can have stress. Of course, they saw the stress, but you can, you know what I mean? You can keep going.
Yeah, no.
They'll see some stress, but you can say, hey, let's have a beautiful adventure.
Mhm.
So, and they used to joke, they'd say, you're always saying, are you having fun? Isn't this great? I was always like cheerleading, isn't this great? Isn't this amazing? They used to laugh. They loved that. They said, Mom, you're always like, isn't this great? Isn't it amazing? Look at this, look at that. It was always to show them, we're good. So how did it, well, it affects in that way. And then when you start to get some sleep, then you start to think about yourself a bit, when you're sleep deprived, you know, you just basically got the fire under you. You just got to move. You can't sit down. So there were years where I felt like I did not rest at all. Like I didn't rest. There's no rest. You're up, you're moving. There's no rest. It is relentless, relentless. In fact, I did not allow myself to watch any media because I didn't have time for years. And finally, I said to myself, I think the third year of my business, okay, I have to have something a bit light. So I'm going to let myself watch one episode of a show every week, 45 minutes. And I would set time aside on Sunday evening to sit down and relish the 45 minutes episode of whatever show it was. I didn't definitely not do the Netflix binge. I thought I didn't have to. It was highly productive. I knew, wait, if I watch more than that, then I've lost 45 minutes where I could be working. So you have to be highly, that's how it affected. Also, you realize also that everything's hard, you know? Oh, it must be so hard. And I'm thinking, well, yeah, it must be so hard to be in a bad marriage too, right? Right? So that's hard too. That's still hard. There's lots of different types of hard. So I'm not
So,
going to go around feeling sorry for myself is my point, because in some ways it's kind of good making your own decisions, right?
so what advice would you have for sole parents looking to be entrepreneurs and looking to want to step out of their comfort zone? Because that's what a lot of people is.
Mm.
That's where a lot of people kind of fail at, is they get stuck on that mindset that, oh no, I can't succeed, I can't start my own business because they're still in the program of being an employee.
Mm.
What would you what kind of advice would you give a single parent wanting to start a business?
Well, this is for all people, actually. I mean, we're people.
Yeah.
So all people, let's just say that all people that want to start a business. Oh, there's so many things. First of all, you can't have to do something. You got to do it or not. You can't have to. And everybody's trying to have to things. I'm like, nope, it's not done. It's half done. It's not done. Half kinda launching kind of a business because you don't really want to spend a lot of money, but you still want it. You got to get very clear on what you want in life. very clear, and not clear like for the next 10 years. I don't even do that whole 10-year planning because, that saying about, the fools that plan and then God has other things in mind, right? So yeah, I plan a bit. I'm not a big planner like for 5 years because who knows what's going to happen. Because I like a little bit of spontaneity in my life. Okay. I try to plan a year, but I'm not the best planner. I'm good at planning, but I don't want to plan that far ahead. So that's the truth. The thing is, you get clear on what you want. So generally, okay, you want to start a business, you want to make money. Is that clear? Sure. Okay. You want to start a business? We're clear on that then. You want to start a business? What kind of a business? Well, I'm not sure yet. Fine. Get clear on what kind of a business. Okay. But generally, it doesn't have to be clarity to the exact thing. Now, some people go too far with this and they say they're getting clear, but actually what they're doing is they're procrastinating because they're perfectionists. And I'm just getting all my ducks in a row. I don't believe in that. My saying is I get 2 ducks in a row and I shoot them.
I like that saying. I like that saying.
I made that up because I saw when I started coaching almost 13 years ago, all of that over planning. I thought, it's not planning, it's procrastination because they're afraid of actually doing the real deal. So then they start this busyness of creating all this stuff and planning and fooling themselves. But we all know the truth. We know when we are procrastinating and I just got to do that and I got to build my emails. Oh, what? You got nothing to build an email list about because you have no business. So I'm like, but you don't have a business yet. So you're building an email list to no audience because you don't do anything yet. So the point is, you got to get clear. And then you've got to ask yourself, am I prepared and willing to do whatever it takes? If it's not illegal, immoral, or unethical, barring that, am I willing to do whatever it takes to get what I want? Am I willing? That's the first question. Because if you're not, you're going to waste a lot of time being half in, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. So all you're doing is creating a bunch of busyness, time wasting, icky feelings because you're not clear with yourself to sort of have to do something, but you're really kind of scared and you don't want to invest and you're not all in. You're better off saying, here's what I want to do. Do I really want that? Yeah, I do. Why do I want it? I want it because I want freedom. I want to retire my wife. I want to retire myself. I want to be free. I want to make money, investments, blah, 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 and impact people. By the way, we're talking about money a lot, but impact is so important because, after your first million, if you don't have a real why, you will peter out. Money alone is not enough to motivate anybody. It really isn't, unless you're just money hungry, but it won't. If you're not clear on your mission. Now, I was very clear on my mission. So I hit 1 million without it realizing, actually. And I kept going because I am emotionally connected to helping people make money from what I went through. And when you've been through hard things, it changes you. And I became so mission driven to help people to feed their families, get out of bad jobs, have freedom, that I got goosebumps right now talking about it. I'm so all in on my mission. Sure, I make money. I would not be making the money I make if people did not see how much I care about them changing their lot in life. That is huge for me. That is a miracle when you help people change their lot in life. It's a gift. And I have that gift. And I want to use that as much as possible to change people's lives, help them change their own lives, because I can't empower anybody. I can help people empower themselves. You get that, right? I can't empower a single soul. I can help you empower yourself. So the first thing is overthinking, not being clear on what you want and whether you really, really want it and why. Okay, I really, really want it. Do you? Yeah, I really want it. You sure? Yeah, I really do. Why? Okay, still motivated? Okay. Are you really want it? Yes. Just kind of, I don't know. Don't do it. Because you will not sustain the hardships and the ups and downs. You will quit if you don't really want it. So don't even start. That's half-baked. Okay. Then ask yourself, am I willing to do whatever it takes? Because it's going to be hard. I'm going to lose money. I'm going to have to invest money because you have to invest money in your business. Mm-hmm. You have to invest money. No business person ever was successful in business without investing in their business. But all these people think they're going to be the one person in the whole world that's going to have a business and not invest in it, but it's going to work anyway. It doesn't work that way. And it's proportional how much you invest, how successful your business is. We all know that. It's just basic business. So those are the things. Now, if you come to the conclusion, I'd rather just binge on Netflix and eat ice cream and relax on my evenings and weekends and whatever, don't do it. because you will not put in the reps. There is a certain number of hours, and it's usually about 25 minimum a week where they felt that people can build a business. It's about 25 minimum a week, maybe 20 minimum. Okay, then you can get help. But if you're going to put in 3 hours a week, you will not build a business. Nobody can do that. I don't care about the 5-week work hour week or whatever it is. That is rubbish. And even Tim Ferriss admitted he works way harder than that. So if you're trying to have an easy way out and you think it's going to be a magic wand, don't do it, because it's not a magic wand. You have to do the reps for sports, for music, for business, for studies, for everything, for being a doctor, for everything. You need to put the reps in. Business is just the same. It is not that one thing in our lives where we don't need to put any effort and it's going to work. For some reason, people think that wise. Why do you think that is? You're so wise. Tell me why.
It's because that's what I guess going down programming. For me, it was really when I decided to go into doing my podcast, and I saw that this is something that I really wanted to do. I was passionate about it. It gave me purpose. I started investing in myself. I invested in courses on how to edit a podcast, how to do audio, video, what how to create descriptions, thumbnails. I really dove into trying to create a podcast because I didn't know anyone who was doing it. I didn't have friends who could just tell me how to start a podcast or what I needed to do. It took me really diving into it and building relationships and really connecting with people, that when people saw that I was dedicated and wanting to improve my craft and wanting to improve in podcasting, they started helping me. They started showing me how to automate, how to build an email list, how to do all these different things that I had no clue. And since then, it's really helped my podcast grow.
Right.
But it took me, like you said, really working at it, really practice. The more I did my podcast, the more I improved.
Right.
And
It's doing the
that's what
reps.
yeah, and that's what it was. It was
Yeah.
taking the reps, doing the reps, making sure that I started my first episode was 7 minutes. The next
Mhm.
one was 10 minutes. The next one grew to 12 minutes. And it just kept growing and my confidence kept growing
Mm.
because I was improving. And it was funny because my nephew was like, "No, we can't release the show until we're good, until we're ready." I'm
Mm.
like, "No, we have to release it this way now so people can see this is where we started at.
Mhm.
We started off, we sucked when we first started.
Mhm.
Look at where we're at now. Look at the improvement. Listen to the sound quality. Look at everything that we've been through and how everything has evolved.
Mm.
And that's what I wanted to show was you have to show, because people, they see sometimes just the end result of everything. But if
Right.
they see you from day one and see the struggles that you went through, the technical difficulties you went through, where sometimes you couldn't hear a guest, or all these different things that you experience, to where you're now, and you're much more polished, you're much more entertaining and much more engaging because you've learned these things because you did the reps.
Right. And I'm proud of you, because when your nephew said, "No, we got to make it perfect." See, that is a trap. I practice what's called massive messy action, MMA, massive messy action. That is what got me at first. Now I do massive messy action, but it's more, sometimes it's massive considered action. But the point is, I realized I just got to do it. I can't be thinking no. And that is what, just like a mud wrestler, scrappy. See, a lot of people don't want to lose their composure because they're not ready to suppress their ego or drop it completely, to say, I want that. I'm going to go get it, but I'm not going to pretend. There's a lot of people pretending they're already successful or they got it together and I don't need help. I never was like that. I was like, sure, I need help. I'm going to hire another coach because I don't know what I'm doing. And that, getting rid of the ego enough to just do the work. People have so much ego. Oh, I don't need your help. I can do it myself. Really? But you've been in business for 10 years and you still don't get a lot of clients. Maybe you do need some help. Now, me, I hire a bunch of people. Not all of them are good, but I still hire because I always want to make sure that I'm not missing something. I keep testing. I lost a lot of money testing stuff. But now I can say to my clients, hey, don't do that. Don't do those Facebook ads. I've spent so much money testing ads and all sorts of stuff. So I can say to my clients, I've tried this, 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 and this, and guess what works the best? Organic marketing, which is what I coach on. So it's really, dropping all the pretense that we tell ourselves. Like, if you're really real with yourself, human beings, which I was, it's like, I desperately need help to build this business and I'm going to pay for it. I'm not going to go, oh, I don't need help because I'm so amazing and I want everybody to think I'm amazing. No, I'll get as much help as I need and I'll ask those questions and I'll keep getting the help and I'll be humble about it because I want to move forward. Pride does not move you forward. Pretending you don't need somebody, it won't move you forward. Now, a lot of that is cultural. People come from different cultures and there's different ways of having this pride of I don't need help. Okay, whether it's a male culture or any kind of ethnic culture or American culture or European, I don't care. We all have in our cultures some brand of pride. And that has to be dropped immediately. Just drop it. Okay, let's look at what the real deal is. You want to do this. Good. You need help. Yes. Pay for the help and stop wasting your time positioning how people are going to see you, because that has set so many people so far back, worrying about what other people think of them. I could not care less what people think about me, unless it's like my family. I want them to think well of me, or my friends in your everyday life. But I did not go online saying, oh my goodness, I want everybody to think I'm amazing. I just went out and told my story. People were like, wow, that's so messy. I'm like, yeah, that's what it is though. Wow, I love it. It's raw. But it wasn't like for being vulnerable. That's another machination, right? I'm going to now be ultra vulnerable. No, be yourself, tell your story, give your opinions, blah, blah, blah. Some people won't like you. That's okay. Nobody likes everybody.
No,
People listening might think, oh my gosh, this woman's so opinionated. Good. You're not my, you're not my gal. We're not a fit. That's okay. It's not like everybody needs to marry us. You know what I mean? So, well, that's one person. But the point is, what do you want? Move all obstacles to getting that, like pride, like overthinking it, like thinking you're going to show everybody you already know what you're doing, like wasting time, like trying to be perfect. Be humble and say, I want this. Who can help me? The question is always, who can help you? It's not always what. There was a book written, The Who, Not the What, by Benjamin Hardy or something. But it's who can help me get what I want? Who can I hire to help me? That's always my question. Every day I wake up and I think, okay, who can I hire to get that done? Or who can I hire that make my life easier? Who can I hire to do this? It's not what do I do? It's who can help me do that. Sometimes it's what, but it's usually who's going to help me figure that out. So there's so much to unpack here. When you said that, I was like, whoa, you just opened up a can of worms here, because nobody wants to hear this, but maybe if somebody hears it, they'll become more aware. Because I think a lot of people aren't even aware of all the stuff they put. It's like this. I knew I needed to get online, make money, and get those clients coming in the door because I was in deep debt. And if I didn't make that 10K program work, I literally didn't know what I was going to do. I couldn't do offline anymore. The area I was living in, I had an offer that they didn't want to buy. Okay. That particular region I lived in. And because in New York it sold. Okay. And I thought, if this doesn't work, I don't know what I'm going to do. I can't get a job. I have 2 kids. I can't get a job, and nobody would hire me anyway, because when you've not had a job for a long time, what kind of a job? You're too overqualified, and I was not going to get some job, right? Or you'd not been working. So I was in that in-between thing, and I didn't want to get a job. I had to take care of my kids, and I wasn't going to go offline. I thought, this has to work. So a good way of being successful is to basically burn your bridges, because then it has to work. So I burnt my bridges. I thought, this has to work. And it wasn't working at first. I did a lot of reps, and I kept working and working. It was hard, and testing, and I got to crack this code. And I did in 8 weeks, 8 weeks of nonstop work, nonstop, a lot of tears, a lot of frustration. It wasn't easy. 900 people I'd spoken to in 8 weeks, 900 people, 18 sales calls. I finally figured out, oh, I could really help coaches. Oh, that's my niche here online. They needed the help and they flocked to me. So I guess the advice is get real. But you're going to have to invest. You are. Because if you don't, you don't know what you don't know. You're just going to be amateur. And then invest in what? A lot of people spend money on really dumb stuff. And I feel sorry for them. They go straight to ads. You can't go to ads unless you have what's called a validated offer, that you're already selling it and we know it's good. But people get a hold of them and, oh, just pay me 10K and you're going to spend 20K in ads and it's going to explode. No, it won't. Don't do that. I was on warn people. So then what do? You don't just randomly decide what to invest in because you don't know. Get help. So somebody can help you say, well, don't invest in that. Don't do that. People ask me, I'm like, don't do ads right now. So then they say, oh, I thought I was going to invest, but then they decide themselves what to invest in and it's silly. So why would you do that instead of getting help to see what you should invest in that's going to push it forward and is the smartest investment? Now, to me, of course, I'm biased, but the smartest investment is getting a coach, whatever that means. Getting a coach to help you figure out those moves so you save a lot of time and money at the very beginning and get clients sooner.
Okay, yeah, that would make sense, and that's something that that people don't realize is that they need to find that coach or mentor to help them with what they don't know, and that's one thing I've been blessed with. What is that I've attracted people that are doing what I want to do, and
Right.
I've been able to learn from quite a few of them. To they bought for courses, I've taken them, and it's helped me grow. It's helped me develop something here, and kind of like, because like I said, I wasn't in media. I wasn't into any of that. That's wasn't my field. It took me really wanting to learn and dive into what I was doing to really see any growth. Like, people think that, oh, I'm gonna just come out and just do this and not invest in themselves. Like, for me, I was furloughed from work. I was
Mm,
getting this extra money from the furlough from government and all that, and I was like, okay, since I really do want to be a podcaster, I really want to produce my show and do all this other stuff.
mm-hmm,
I went from a hundred. I spent my first investment was in 2019 when I purchased 100. I took $160 and purchased me a a podcasting studio from Amazon.
mm,
It was a mixer, a mic, an adapter for my laptop,
mm-hmm,
and I learned about free software that I could use to record my audio.
mm-hmm.
And then the more I got into it, I started learning about, okay, this is what you need this is the platform you need, or where you can get your RSS feed and all this other stuff. And it was just so much, but I was determined to learn. I really wanted to learn. So I spent hours. YouTube TV. YouTube was my best friend. There's a lot of stuff that I learned from. But then, like you said, you need to find a coach. You need to find someone you can really learn from,
Mm.
especially when you don't know something and you want to improve in that lane or whatever that field is that you're trying to improve in.
Right. Especially for coaches. So if coaches say to me, oh no, I'm never going to hire a coach. I'm like, what? You don't believe in coaching, but you think other people should pay you money. I've never understood that. How, so, you want people to pay you because you're a coach, but you would never hire a coach. I've heard this a lot, less lately, but I'm like, that's so incongruent that's never going to work. Right. It's people think they can hide behind these it's so incongruent and so contradictory that energetically that's never going to work because it's almost like cheating. It's like, well, I want you to pay me, but I don't believe in coaching. I just think that people should pay me to coach. One guy told me that. He goes, "Yeah, people should just pay me, but I don't think that I need." I said, "Do you understand what you're saying?" So it's that. It's you can't. I was saying to my personal trainer this morning, I hired a personal trainer because I want something. I want to develop more muscle mass at my age because I'm going to be 59 in April. And that's when your muscle mass starts to diminish. So if you don't start doing something, the major problem with old people is they're losing muscle. That's why they get weak. It goes and you can't get it back, right? So I thought, wait a minute, I should be actively now developing more muscle to avoid that. So I hate working out. I like hiking and I like biking and doing things, but being in a gym working out is not really that fun for me. Okay. So I said to my trainer, I said, well, I don't really love working out. He goes, but you're doing it anyway. I said, yes, I am. I said, because you cannot have the prize without paying the price. You cannot have it. It just, people want that. They want a lottery ticket, but they all want the lottery ticket. But
Yeah.
in life, you will never get the prize unless you pay the price. When you go into a grocery store, unless you're stealing, they're not going to give you the bread unless you hand money over, right? You're not going to get the bread or the chicken or whatever you're going to buy because you have not given the prize to get, you haven't paid the price to get the prize. Life is like that. If you're not willing to pay the price to get the prize, it won't work. You can't mess with that. You just can't. You have to understand basic just physics. It's physics, right? Life. But a lot of people seem to want a shortcut and get something without doing the work, unfortunately. So you have to get real. It's gonna take work. I say to people, it's gonna take work. However, we have the other side of over dramatizing the work in our heads of, oh, that's so hard. And my thing is, what if we just suspend all that hardship and go, you know what? I want that thing over there, and I'm just going to draw a beeline to that. Okay. It gets rid of all that drama, monodrama that we put in our heads about, oh, that's so hard. I never said things are so hard. I just did it. I didn't tell the story of how hard it was. I just did it because I realized I could get all that brain trash out, get it all out, mind trash, and just go, okay, I want that thing. I'm going to do what it takes. And it takes all the heaviness of the emotion out of it, because you can add so much drama to your life by talking about how hard or thinking how hard that is. What if you just said, you know what? I know it's hard, going to do it anyway. And I'm going to shortcut it by just, then you just do it.
Yeah.
And it's fun.
It was me. It was just me. It was actually just self talk to myself. Like it was like, oh, I was just making excuses, and I kept saying, oh, nobody's gonna want to listen to the show. No one's gonna want me. Who my voice is horrible. Nobody's gonna want me to do this. Who's gonna pay any attention to me? And it was just me, just talking myself out of doing it.
Mm.
And when I finally was like, you know what? No, I'm gonna stop this negative self talk. I'm gonna record. That's just press record. I had my nephew on the phone, and I didn't even have the proper hookup for the phone jack. It was just me connecting to having the phone up to the mic and just having a little quick 5 minute conversation with him, just an introduction episode, and that was me facing my fears and me challenging myself and me just getting out of my own head, like really getting out of my own head and just going ahead and do it. And from there, it was like, once I released it,
Mm.
even though it wasn't polished, it wasn't anything, no description, no thumbnail,
Hmm.
nothing. It was just an audio file uploaded. And it it kind of just like lifted this big weight off my shoulder, where now I'm like, okay, I can do this. All
Yeah,
right.
because you basically just deleted all the drama that people. You just said, I'm not going to do that drama. It makes your life so much easier when you just delete drama. Like I'm known in my family. I just say I want a zero drama life. Of course, I have some drama because
Of course.
the people working for you, but I just said I want a zero drama life, and they're like, we're going to put that on a plaque somewhere. I want a zero drama life, and it's to do with your business too. You can over dramatize, but in the end, you're still doing that to procrastinate subconsciously. Still, still. Now, to me, I have one of my sayings is the remedy for everything is taking one step. So you took that step. I thought of that when you said that. You took the step and you got the first episode and it was done. As you said, an elephant, because you could have gone on for years. Oh, I can't do this. But nope, doing it. And by the way, mindset is, you know, if you have the right mindset, you can do anything because you can figure out, ask people, pay people, blah, blah, blah. Right? So mindset, we have a lot of mindset in my program and mastering emotions. When you can master your emotions, that is the key, is mastering your emotions. When you do not have your emotions mastered, you can't succeed because so much stuff gets in the way of wasting time, of doubts and all that. That's time consuming, and it's also energy consuming, and it puts you back. So the thing is, the remedy is not to overthink things. The remedy is never to think. People go, I'm just going to think about that. Whoa. The remedy is not thinking. We think too much. And I don't mean think about deep philosophical issues. Sure, go do that. I mean, people think that the remedy for everything is I'm just going to think more in my limited thinking in a rut over and over. No, all you're doing is you're creating those synapses and deeper ruts of the erroneous thinking, the bad mindset, the self-talk. So when people say, I'm just going to think, I'm like, no, don't do that. The best thing to do is to stop thinking about things and just do. Just go do it. That's the problem, is the overthinking. The remedy is action. One step. Like for instance, I call it getting the foot in the door. You just get your foot and you stick it in the door and the door can't close. Now you got a little opening like this, but your foot is in that door and it's not closed. So my whole thing is in business, get your foot in the door because you're on the journey then. You've launched the boat if your foot is in that door, and it doesn't matter how, it just says stick it in. Okay. Massive, messy action. You put your foot in that door and you created that first episode, right?
Yeah.
Foot was in the door, can't take it back. It's in there. And that's okay. Your foot could be lodged with the door closed on it for a while even, but it's still, you got that first step, which is the remedy for everything, is taking one step and putting your foot in that door. Okay. You're good then, because once people do that, they're changed forever because you took the step. It changed forever. I had the intention. It's like, people say, it's so hard to do stuff. You know that trick, if you want to go running in the mornings, you put your shoes right near your bed and you sort of step on them and you put them on. Well, the shoes are on. I might as well run a step. Then you're going to run another one, right? This is what people need to do. They need to, again, get rid and remove any kind of obstacle or thing that will set you back. So if I want to go running in the mornings, I would put my shoes right at my bed because then I'll just get them on. But what I'm not going to do is put those shoes in a closet up high somewhere, because we all know then it's more, there's more in my way. Then I have to get out of bed, have to walk somewhere, unlock a closet, get on a chair and get some shoes because I really don't want to use them. Okay. So it's really about logistics. How can I make it that I have to do it? If that is meaning you go to bed in your track clothes and the socks on already, then do that. Because that means you're going to wake up, well, I'm already dressed and my shoes are on the floor. Stick the feet in. Well, now I got my shoes on. I might as well go running or whatever it is. So whatever it is, people should remove everything that's going to make it harder and just help themselves. Okay, I want to do this. What do I need to do so I don't have to think about it or procrastinate? Well, one thing, make it easy. Now, if I put that right there in front of me, like creating something on my desk, well, it's right in there. You're not going to forget about it. Like I have lists everywhere. Next, I put like next things to do and I put it right near my desk. So I know, okay, that's right. I got to do that, and that today. Then I'm not thinking, what was it I need? Of course, I have all sorts of things to do on to-do lists, but I also just do a thing I do next. 1, 2, 3. Next. I just keep next. And because then I don't have to search. So don't make yourself search for the next. Like, when I said, hey, we should get on a call. I was so impressed with you that you immediately, it was right there, you booked a call right away.
Yeah,
So you took away the obstacle of having to remember to book a call with me. I
yeah, and,
noticed.
and that's why I sort of did it that way. It's like, it's all right. Let me get it out. Let me take care of this now, like, because this is something
Right,
that to me was important. I was like, yeah, doc, I will sit down and have a coffee.
right. And what you did is you took away obstacles of that happening by doing it right away. That's what we need to do. We need to just take the action and not think about if this is what people do and they think it's smart, but it's not smart. They think, I'm just going to think that through another 10 times. It's not smart. It just talks you out of doing things because then you start to use logic, so called logic, to tell yourself, well, that's not logical, to then be small, to not do the great things that you had an inspiration. I could do that. Oh, I'm just going to think this through. The thinking through usually is getting yourself back to a familiar zone, which is a losing zone. But that's where people feel comfortable. Oh, now I'm back in my normal headspace where I'm not going to challenge myself. I'm not going to go out on a limb and I'm not going to get any kind of extraordinary results because you can't get them with doing the same stuff. So the thinking things through has to stop. Okay, it really has to stop. It's got to be, I have an inspiration. Think it through a bit. What do I do? Okay, do this. Okay, then take action, dive. Because when you go back, you go way back. Like I have this thing. Sometimes people speak with me and they're all inspired because, like, wow, Jeanne, these are amazing results. I believe you. It's going to work. And they go, oh, let me just think about it. I'm like, oh, no. Okay. And what they do, human beings, when you bring a human being out of the darkness to see the sunlight, okay, like an animal in a cave. I'm sorry, but this is my, because I felt like that in my life. Okay. I felt like I was in a dark cave in my life. And then I got out of the dark cave and I saw the sunlight and I didn't want to go back into that dark cave. No. I thought, no, I'm staying in the sunlight because I went through some bad stuff. But what some people do is you get them out of the corner because they're hiding. Okay. And they're that animal that's so scared in the corner. And you talk to them and you coax them out and you go, look, this is the possibility. There's sunlight. Wow. You don't have to be in that dark corner, not thriving, living in the dark. You could have, and then they start to get inspired on the sales call. And they're like, wow, that's amazing. I can see that. But then they go back into their fear and they go further back, further into the cave, like worse. So sometimes I'm not doing people a favor because I know that then they're going to really retreat. But hey, I do my best. I want to show people what's possible.
Oh man, this has been great, man. This has been a great conversation. I've loved having you on. Now is part of the show where you get the solo screen and you get to plug away, let everybody know where they can find you, where they can sign up for your courses, everything.
Sure. Okay. So Wise will have a link to all of my client results because I think it's important people see that. Take a look. You can book a call on there if you want to be a coach or a consultant or already a coach or consultant. And there'll be a link to my new podcast and my social media links if you want to just reach out and say hi.
All right. All right. Yeah. Everything will be put in the description of the show. I'll definitely put it out there and share it with everyone. So if you guys want to reach out to her and look at some of the testimonials, because I was watching a few of them earlier. It was so you should definitely check it out. So thank you so much. This has been a great conversation. I've learned a lot. I for me, this to me is it's so. From, sometimes I feel like I'm selfish. Sometimes I feel like this is me being selfish because I'm learning so much from these conversations and from these episodes. But it's not. It's me actually. It's self. It's self. Or it's self love. It's me wanting to improve, and the fact that I'm sharing it with my audience is nothing selfish about it. So, but when you get that little doubt in your head and you start questioning, but I love this. I love being able to have these conversations and to share this with people so they can also see that, hey, regardless of what you've been through in life and where you're at now, there are actions to be taken to help improve your situation and what you're going through.
100%. I want to just say one thing before we go. I want to say this to you, Wise, and then it extends to everybody else. You are worthy and ready right now. So learning things from the podcast that you're producing, you're worthy of that way more. And I want to say to everybody, you are worthy and ready right now of whatever it is that you want to create in your life.
Thank you. Thank you. But don't leave yet. We're going to chat a little bit off the air, but let me close out the show. Thank you so much. This has been great.
Oh, it was a pleasure. Absolute pleasure being on your show.
All right. Now, thank you everybody who tuned in on Facebook, YouTube. Greatly appreciate it. Shout out to my real wise fam, Poppy J, Brandy J. Shout out to the boss lady. Love you and appreciate you. Um, Shout out to all the essential workers out there. God bless y'all. Be safe. You know how your boy Wise does it. Peace out.